Hello everybody, it is your boy NCSO7 here, and today I'm going to be reviewing Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. Now, if you guys have been on my channel for the past couple months, you probably know that I've made a few Monkey Ball videos in the lead up to this game, of course, as this is the game that I've been waiting for probably the most this year. So, the question is, did this game blow my mind or did it not? Well, I already know the answer to that. But anyways, let's just jump right into this. Starting off with the presentation. The first thing I just want to say is that, holy god, they actually did it. It's pretty much just Super Monkey Ball Deluxe remade for modern systems. That's pretty much all it really is. It basically combines the stages from both Super Monkey Ball 1 and Super Monkey Ball 2, as well as a couple extra stages that were exclusive to Deluxe into one package, being Banana Mania. And honestly, it's what everybody wanted. Seriously, like pretty much every Monkey Ball fan I ever have come across pretty much just wanted a remaster or remake of like Deluxe specifically. And that's basically what they gave to us. It's not like they simplified it or anything like that. It's basically the exact same thing. But I'll get into that a little bit more later. But visually speaking, oh man, does this game look really, really good. I'm not gonna lie, while the GameCube games do still have their charm with their graphics and models, this game still looks really, really good too. It's so good. Seriously. Everything looks really, really nice. Heck, if you even want a little bit of that old GameCube flair, you can even get DLC that allows you to actually play as the original models of I, Me, Baby, Ganga, and even new models for Yan Yan and Doctor that are also in the same style. I really like that they did this because it feels like they were really trying to actually harken back to those older games. And I'll get into that a little bit more later, but visually speaking, this game is really, really good. Especially on pretty much all systems. I've played both the Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 5 versions, and thankfully both versions are very, very similar. The Switch version, there isn't really too much of a difference. It's just slightly lower and it's not full 4K support, but it still runs at 1080p and it looks really good. And even in handheld mode, it still runs very well. It's so good. So good visually. Now the story for the game. Now, this is one of the slight downsides I do have. You see, in Monkey Ball 2, and I believe Deluxe, there was a story mode that had these very cringy cutscenes. And this time around, well, the story is the same sort of thing. They're not really told through, these cutscenes. They're told through these picture-moving videos. It's kind of lazy. I kind of wish they put at least a little more effort. There's not even dialogue or anything like that. It's just kind of lame. Like, as much as we cringe at those GameCube cutscenes, those at least they have their charm. Like, they're cool, but here they don't have them at all, which is just kind of sad. But it's whatever. Monkey Ball really doesn't need a story anyways. It's all about that sweet, sweet gameplay, which is something that hasn't been the best in recent memory. Like, don't get me wrong, I think Banana Blitz HD is a good game, but it's just the fact that I feel like the game wasn't really what people wanted gameplay-wise from Monkey Ball. It was way too easy, and just wasn't the best. Now, Banana Mania, it's the first it's Deluxe, remade. Now, to be fair, that doesn't mean exact one-to-ones. Some levels are a little different than that of before, but most of the levels from Deluxe are the exact same here. There's just some very slight differences, like the infamous Expert 7 now has 90 seconds, which you're going to need given something I'm going to talk about in a second here. But honestly, all changes that are really made to the stages are very, very slight. They did tone down a bit on the master stages that I never actually got to myself. Yeah, call me a noob and whatnot, but I was never good enough to get an Expert Extra. Oh well, but even so though, I did find Master to be kind of easy, but to be fair, I've been playing Monkey Ball since I was like 5 years old, so do you really feel like I'm bad at the game? Well, I kind of am, but even so though, they didn't really change much of the stages at all. The game still keeps its difficulty a bunch, though unfortunately, some of the difficulty does come from one thing, the physics. Now, this is one thing that was really talked about a lot when the game released, were the game's mechanics. This is because of the fact that this game, keep in mind, is a remake. It isn't a one-to-one replication of Monkey Ball 1, 2, or Deluxe. It is a remake. It's not going to be the exact same thing. Now, I know it, and like, don't get me wrong, I don't think the physics here are better. I do think that they are slightly worse. But even then, though, it's really not that big of a deal breaker. It's really not that big of an issue. The only time that the physics really get in the way is when you're trying to make it through some very narrow and tight passages. Stuff like Expert 7's bridge and Expert 9's bridge, like, those can be really annoying because the physics are slightly more slippery, just enough to make it really annoying. It's not like a big issue at all, but it is definitely something that's definitely difficult to get past. And part of this is because of the camera in this game doesn't work the same way as it used to. I have heard things about turning off the camera controls, but I don't really care too much. Honestly, the physics, well, yes, they're not the best ever, and they're not as good as Deluxe or the first two games. I'll just refer to it Deluxe at this point. It's still fun to play. It still keeps that fun, and it doesn't ever really feel that unfair. Honestly, most of the time when you die in this game, it's because you're not good at the game. That's pretty much the reason why. It never really feels unfair, though it definitely can make it feel that way, though. But even so, though, that's only a part of the game. You see, this game also includes multiple mini-games as well. Now, I have not played many of these. I've heard that most of them are pretty good. I have heard that they have really butchered the physics of Monkey Target, which is a shame because a lot of people like Monkey Target, but I never really cared about the party games anyways. I'm assuming that everything except for Monkey Target is probably pretty good. I personally just don't have much care though. But overall, like, gameplay-wise, it's really, really good. Like, it's Monkey Ball. So, obviously, it's really good. And control-wise, like, I did mention the physics before, which are kind of control-based, but the controls for this game are actually fairly well. You just use the control stick, and then, like, that's pretty much it. You just run into the goal. That's all you really do. You do eventually can unlock an ability to jump, similar to that of Banana Blitz, which can absolutely break some of the levels in this game. But it isn't really that helpful in the end of the game, though that is an option. Hell, you even have the option to put on the accelerometer, so it feels even more like Banana Blitz. I haven't tried it myself. I can't assume it's the best thing ever, but it's the thought that counts. Honestly, though, this game controls really well. Heck, you can even manipulate the camera in this game. Yeah. You can actually change the camera angle using the right stick. Why did it take him this long to do this? But that's at least a good improvement. While it's not as good as it would be, it's still really good. And honestly, the controls for this game are really, really good. Both for Switch and PlayStation 5. Now, the content for this game. Now, this game is $40. It is easily worth that much content. Seriously, there is so much in this game. Like, there is the story mode, but there's also the challenge modes for Monkey Ball 1 and 2, which are so much fun to play through. And you also have the party games I mentioned, but what mostly keeps you coming back to play the game are the missions. You see, there's a huge, huge list of missions that you can complete throughout the game. And these can range from finishing a stage for your first time, finishing your stage for a first time without using any helping functions. You also like trying to collect as many bananas as you can, trying to finish the stage in a certain time limit. There's a bunch of mini games and like missions for all such things. And it's really, really fun. But at the same time though, it does kind of make you wonder, what is it really for? What's the point for missions? Well, you see, when you complete a mission, you get a various amount of points, and you could spend those in the point shop. And the point shop, you can buy basically new characters and modes. Seriously, I love the idea of the point shop. Now, while most of the stuff in here isn't really that interesting, most of it's just like accessories that you could put on the monkeys and stuff like that, and another option where you can change their costume and whatnot. It's a thought that counts, and even then, there's still a lot of stuff in the point shop that is worth buying, specifically the characters and game modes, as they have a couple of crossovers, such as Sonic the Hedgehog, Tails, as well as Kiru from Yakuza, and even Beat from Jet Set Radio. And there's even going to be DLC later down the line that lets you play as Morgana from Persona 5, which, oh, I'm so excited for that. But also, you can also play as Hello Kitty, and even some of the other Sega consoles like the Dreamcast and the Saturn. It's really weird, but it's really cool at the same time. And you can also unlock extra alternate outfits for the default monkeys that you already have. And you can also buy extra gameplay modes, which is really cool. Like, there are obviously, like, the normal stuff, but then you have modes where it's like the dark bananas, where you have to avoid the bananas and clear the stage. There's also reverse, where you play some of the stages in the game in, like, the reverse order, so you have to go through them in a new way. There's also, again, the stages from Deluxe that are really fun to go through, and also a couple other modes, but that's pretty much all there really is to it. And it doesn't necessarily sound like that much, but god damn it, it's so much fun, and it's so good. Seriously, these are like the smallest advances, but this really does feel like a Monkey Ball game made in 2021. It doesn't feel like a game that was just 20 years old. It feels really, really good. So content-wise, the game is really, really good. Not much else to say. Also, the game comes with an art book as well, so like you can flip through that. That's a cool little thing you get. But now moving on to the music. Now, this game has remade music for all the stages, and honestly, I do like the music, but I still prefer the original game's soundtrack. Thankfully, while you do have to pay for it since it is DLC, you can unlock the original music. You can play these stages with the old music. Honestly, I don't have any complaints at this point. See, this is one of my issues with Banana Blitz HD, was the fact that they changed the music and it just didn't sound nearly as good, and you didn't have the option to turn on the old music at all. Thankfully, Banana Mania completely fixed that issue. You can hear the original music. It's just the best thing ever. So honestly, music-wise, I have no real issues. Although there is one thing that's not really music-based, but it's kind of just more so, like, something that's kind of odd. The fact that the announcer is a female voice and not a male voice, no disrespect, but I feel like it just doesn't work as well. Honestly, some of the sound clips in this game can feel not as good, like the rolling doesn't feel as good. Also, Ai's voice just feels so dead. Like, it's not anywhere near as good sound-wise. But then again, though, it's not that big of an issue. And besides, you can still listen to the original game's soundtrack, which honestly is all that really matters at the end of the day. Music is really good. So, on to my final thoughts. And honestly, I'm just going to say this right now. This is probably my favorite Monkey Ball game. Like, no joke, my favorite Super Monkey Ball game is this one, Banana Mania. Mostly because of the fact that I feel like not only is it a great remake of that of Deluxe, but it also has so many advancements. It's a remake done right. Oh, well, yes, not everything's perfect. Some of the sound can be a little jank sounding. And also the fact that the physics can be a little bit bleh. And some of the party games can be kind of hit or miss, with such as Monkey Target. This game is still a blast to play. And so much fun. And really, no version of the game is really bad. The Switch and PlayStation 5 versions are both competent versions of the games that I'll be playing for years to come. Absolutely get this game if you haven't played a Monkey Ball game before. It's the best way to get into it for newcomers. And it's just such a good game. And I really, really do hope that later down the line we get more crossover characters. And heck, maybe at this point, Monkey Ball can finally become a Sega staple once again and actually get new games. Because don't get me wrong, I love the older games. But now that we have Banana Mania and Banana Blitz HD, I'm kind of ready to get some newer games. Maybe port Banana Splits, but it's just really, really good. But I'm getting off topic. On my scale of 0 to 10, I give Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania a 9.3 out of 10. This game is so close to reaching up there as some of my favorite games of all time. There are a few things that do keep it back, unfortunately, but that does not change the fact that this is probably the best we're going to see for Monkey Ball ever, honestly. Also, again, Morgana from Persona 5 is in the game. Or will be. Oh man, absolutely cannot recommend this game enough. But those are my thoughts. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, and if you guys want to see more Monkey Ball content from me, then consider hitting the like button and subscribing to see more of it. Anyways, I will see you guys next time. Peace out, take care.